So you're in Melbourne, right?
I'm just out of Melbourne. I'm about 80, 80, I don't know, a little way out. 80 minutes, 80 kilometers, something like that.
Towards Queensland or Adelaide side?
Um, no, it is north of Brisbane, yeah. North of Melbourne.
North of
Melbourne is
Melbourne.
still in Victoria.
Okay, here. Let's see.
Oh
Here we
gosh.
go.
Whew, I've just gotten all warm.
You did? I had
Yeah.
something come
Look,
through like about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. It felt like it went through
yeah,
my
well,
body and the whole house.
mm, remarkably, the weather is still really warm here. Like it's the middle of April and I'm in a t-shirt in Victoria. Like, I think that's unheard of.
It's a lot of crazy weather.
Mm,
Adelaide's in the
yeah.
house. Diamante.
Oh, hi, Di.
Diamante, I'm sorry.
Diamante. Diamante.
D-
Uh,
do you know them?
oh, um, n no, I've not met Di.
Hmm.
No. Um, yeah, kind of missed that opportunity. Shut up.
So you're up in, you got yourself a little place too, right? That's cool.
Yeah, I'm moving out of here on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm just in a caravan park in a cabin. I was in a caravan, then had to take that away, and now I'm in a cabin. And Tuesday I'm moving into a house
Oh, wow.
for until I finish here, and then go to Queensland.
So you're getting a break from the van living, the van life.
Yeah, I'm in a real bed.
I saw
I
this
love my I love my van, but the bed is so small that I only just fit into it.
like a little doll, like a little
Yeah,
doll.
it is. It's like a dollhouse,
uh,
which is appropriate for the photo you put up on the ad this morning.
Morgan sent it over. I had another one.
Did
I had
you?
a, yeah, I had one that I had from before. But
Mm.
what was I gonna say to you? Oh my god. Oh, I saw this video on YouTube because I joined a long time ago. I joined Gypsy Jen, Jen Reynolds, the van
Mm.
life, and then I think I got on a few other ones because of that. So I get some of those videos, and there was this guy. He was about my age, kind of grumpy like me, and he was saying everyone wants to talk about the van life. Let me tell you what's not good about it. Some of the things you and I watched him for like 15 minutes. He was so funny. He was like, when you think everything's going fine, then something goes wrong. Every day it's something else.
It is a little bit like that. Yeah, yeah. Whew.
Here, let's see. Morgan said Catherine Howe should come on. You ask her. I can't. Yeah, Catherine Howe, come on. Put a message in the comments if you want to come on. It'll just be a free for all.
Okay, I'm
No,
up for that.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I was telling Morgan that just to do have like 4, 5, 6 people that are just talking about like what just happened because more than ever everybody's kind of going through the same thing. I mean, I know we
Mm,
say that, but Kirsty was on Friday. Uh, Everyone else during the week, it was pretty much the same thing. She was on Friday. She starts talking about this intense 3 to 5 days, and Morgan and I went through it at the same time. I mean, a lot of people. I mean,
mm.
really, really quick cleansing, I think would be one way to put it. Uh,
Yeah,
like a clear hurdle over something or a new threshold, something. I don't
yeah,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely. Like I could feel this building and I've felt the intensity building. Um, and like I have this habit of when I'm working, I kind of park everything to the side until I've actually got time to dive in and look at it.
You're
So
right.
as soon as, oh,
Go ahead.
yeah, as soon as Friday hit and I had a day off, it's just sort of like, shoom, here it comes. Hold on to your hats, people, because it's about to pop.
you can't get
And
you
and
can't
it
get away from it.
totally has. Nah, nah. And why would you want to? Why would you
Well,
want to?
yeah, because I mean, you're
This
going to
is
have
what
to
it's about.
sooner or later.
Mm,
Sooner or
mm,
later.
mm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, all the peripheral stuff, like all the world stuff, all the regional stuff. I mean, not some places are, going through more intense things, but it's like everything's coming back to the local level, like,
Mm,
friends, family, wherever you're at in that moment.
mm.
You don't have to go anywhere to get triggered.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I don't go anywhere. I go to work, I go to the supermarket, and I come to my little unit, and that's about it. And totally happy with that. Um,
I know. I put up, this post every day, and I had one tucked away, and it said, "This is one sign I want to steal." And it said, "No people." I had one of those big red
mm,
marks over a person.
mm. But in all honesty, Friday I had the opportunity to go to a bonfire, and I really, really wanted to go, but I had barely slept in 5 days
Really?
and been working during that time, and got to Friday and I put it off and I put it off and I put it off, and I thought, I can't drive. I can't drive to the 40 minutes to get to where I need to go. So I had to cancel. I had to pull out because I just didn't feel I could get behind the wheel of a car.
It's ascension intoxication.
Mm, totally, totally. Kaleidoscopes in front of my eyes. Yeah. But yeah, you just do what you got to do. You make space and let it happen. Um, yeah.
It
Wow,
feels
I
good
can't
though.
believe
It feels
how
good
hot I
though.
am. Mm, mm.
So are you? How much longer are you going to be working in?
I think till about mid-May or the end of May, around about there. I'm hoping by the first day of June, I'm driving out of Victoria because it's going to be cold and I don't want to be cold. I want to
There's
go
enough to
somewhere
do.
where the sun
There's
always
enough to deal with.
shines.
There's enough to deal with. There's like 17 solar flares every day, and I don't even keep up with that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the region where I am does get quite cold,
So
gets lots of frost and
you're going
stuff.
to head north to the warm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep, to the promised land.
How is it interacting with people in a work environment?
Oh, it's having its ups and downs.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I've had some really great people I've been working with, but they're only there for 2 weeks and then they're gone and moved on somewhere else. So, um, yeah, there's some serious intensity in being with people um, for such an extended period of time. And like the work I do, I'm working very closely um, with others. Um, and yeah,
Do,
it's
I mean,
it's
like, do
very
you have
intense.
like the same kind of stuff running through your head, like when you just wake up in the morning and you go on Facebook and you see news feeds and like, are you having the same type of mindset? Like, I don't know, neutrality, 0 point. Are you getting things being presented to you?
At first I was. Um, at first I was, but then I get to the point where
I sent the
oh,
link. I sent the link, by the way. Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain this. Um, um, the uh, okay, so I'm just going to come out straight out and say it. I'm working with this wonderful man, and he absolutely brilliant, brilliant mind, very intelligent, and very intense. And when you get a person who has a specialty subject
Yeah.
and that is their passion, that is their world, that is what they talk about intensely all the time. And so I'm working with someone like that.
Kind of
And
like a tunnel vision, like a
yes,
horse with
yeah,
blinders
yeah,
on.
Yeah, extremely passionate and extremely knowledgeable about what he's knowledgeable about.
Is he hot?
And no, he's just a man.
Well, I was just checking, see what the dynamics were.
No, but it's really intense. It's really intense. And so yeah, just dealing with that. And like late last week, Thursday, I just found myself shutting down. I just found myself just shutting down and just going into my void to just try and get through the working day.
Yeah, it's Good Friday.
Um,
We were walking in a template, a 3-day template.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what the week turned into. But anyway, enough about work. That's enough about it.
No, I just wonder about that. Like, what would it be like to go into a work environment? Tina, God, I forgot what I said. Myers.
Myers? Yeah.
Yeah, she was on last week, and she was talking about going that she's been. I had a long career in the education system. She kind of, I guess, woke up, or maybe she woke up before she left it for a while. Then she was kind of going back, and she did, like 3.5 weeks, and she was talking about how she never stood up for herself. She never spoke up in that patriarchal environment. She had this lady that was working with her
Mm.
who was pretty intense and probably like a horse with blinders on. And so every time the lady took a shot at her, she said she just stood up and spoke her mind. And, but that by the end of the 3.5 weeks, she thought she was going to be great. So she gets off work on Friday. I think she met some friends because it was holiday. And she woke up Saturday and she's like, I think curled up in a ball. Like she didn't realize all the energy that she had, in position or, tensed or,
I can really relate to that.
I bet.
Really, really
I
relate to
bet.
that because it is what it is. It's like, and you don't realize because it builds and builds and builds. You don't realize you're kind of over your threshold because you're just trying to manage yourself
Yeah.
and get through your day. And then as soon as you've got chance to drop the handles and let everything go,
Yeah.
it's just like you're rocking in the corner. Yeah.
You're dribbling out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, like this, this is such a, I guess like a community of people that are self-aware, that are always, more and more aware of themselves. And so it's, we've let all these walls go down and put up boundaries at the same time. And, all this kind of semi-complicated stuff. And we make all this progress. And then to go into a situation like that, to me, I would feel like I would be putting walls up, like walking carefully, not like being scared, but just like, trying, because it's a totally different environment. So I could see where, like, after doing even 4 or 5 days, that when, if you had the day off, the next day off, it would be kind of like decompressing.
It is. It is. You feel like you're in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And then someone releases that button on the top and you just hear the steam go shh. But, really, this week for me, highlighted has been communication.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing my own, wounds and places where I could be a better communicator. And that's really highlighted for me at the moment. It was highlighted for me in my relationship with my husband. It's been in all my relationships. And yeah, communication is not really my strong suit. And so, yeah, really trying to, like you said about Tina, speak up.
Yeah.
In the workplace, especially because, I'm working with specialists in their field. And I'm not a specialist in that field. I'm just coming in to do a job. I'm processing, collecting data. And I'm not a specialist in the field. I don't want to know.
Just let me do leave me the fuck alone.
That's it. I want to go in. I want to do my job. I want to grab my paycheck, and at the end of the day, I'm going to go off into the sunset along my merry way. And and the intensity this week has not been
Oh
that.
my God. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. But, next week is a new week. And with everything that's come up this weekend, around communication, shame, all the things that we're looking at, I'm a bit excited for it, really. Bit
That's
excited
good.
for it. It's a bit of a testing ground.
That's good. I
Mm.
just picked up a little tidbit on a podcast the other day, and it was, I don't remember the percentage. It was pretty high, though. It was like 35% of people that commit suicide between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. on Monday morning. Right? So like it was the conversation was around the, I guess, the imprint of numbers or day of the week or routine, and how we were kind of breaking out of this, right? So like here listening to you, that's actually how you feel. You're like, okay, let's go try this again. Let me apply what I've experienced and see what happens.
And that was something that was highlighted as well when I was talking to Morgan this morning. The difference about this time is I don't have a family at home.
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I don't live with any of them anymore. I'm out here doing my own thing. There's no one at home waiting for me, or any of that energy is not there anymore like it used to be. When I was married. And so that has been really liberating.
Yeah.
Realizing that this morning, my weekends, my time off is purely for me to process myself.
Exactly.
And the collective energies and where all of that sits within me. So yeah, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. I think I'm able to breathe a little easier.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, it's like you went from, and I can relate to this. So like you went from three different, I don't want to say identities, but three different modus operandi, right? Three different faces. One is the family. That's a whole vibration, and everybody can relate to that in their own experience. And then one is the job, and then one is the solitude or the me time. And so it's like you went from 3 to 2, right? You went from 3 to 2. Now you have the work and you have you, right? Kind of thing. I don't know how that makes sense to me, that it's all, we're being like pushed into our true self by whatever means necessary.
Well, I really went from 3 to 1 to 2.
3 to 1 to 2. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
because I had my summer of solitude over on York Peninsula, and now I've come back to the 2 to do some more work, to fund myself to do some work on my van and get up to Queensland. So yeah, that's been interesting, having that break in between. To really connect with my soul and my soul purpose and things like that was so invaluable.
Yeah.
That's time I've never had.
Yeah.
And I really cherish it.
Yeah. I think you took them off in strips one by one. You're right. I mean, it's just like one thing after another.
Yeah.
But that's,
yeah.
I guess, all. Yeah.
It's not like I didn't know that was coming.
No.
It was all created. It was all by design. It had all been many years in the making, and as it is, it feels like it happens overnight, but it doesn't really. This was part of the master plan. Ha ha ha.
That's right, like a bulldozer, like a bull. I mean, some of these things that we've done in the periods of times we've done them, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot where it was, the feminine speaking up, and, like we haven't heard that voice, and I mean the feminine voice in all of us, like, that doesn't fit in those environments, let's just say. And I just kind of see it like this, like that part of us has never been heard. So now there's like, you see it a lot in the women, speaking now, right?
Mm.
And getting used to it. And it's not a perfect science, but it's definitely being accepted. At the same time, you've got, because I notice like in the work I do, you've got what shows up mostly as a male, but this masculine energy that is kind of run out of words, kind of thing. So I don't know, with this weekend with Easter, being resurrection and the power that it brings, I don't know. I feel like we've made some really good progress because everyone I've kind of touched base with, just my own way, since the 1st of April, it's been bigger than like the last 10
Yeah.
years put together.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who are like experiencing the same energies.
Yeah.
And
What's so funny?
I don't know where I was going with that. There was somewhere and I just lost it.
See,
Yeah.
that's happening too. That's happening too. I put up all those
Yeah.
posts in the group. I put up a post about losing the memory, but it was kind of a scientific thing about, and I made a comment about 3D or something. And so many people, like, I thought it was just me. My kids are asking me, "What's wrong with you? Do you have Alzheimer's?" I mean.
Oh, I do it all the time. Quite often it comes back and sometimes it just doesn't need to.
True.
Yeah. I think I was going to say there's a lot of people experiencing the same energy. Um,
What?
I'm not going to try and bring it because it's just not coming.
Oh, don't try
Oh
to bring
gosh.
it. Don't try to bring
Yeah.
it.
But the patterning that I had in discussion with Morgan this morning is that, that little girl, that shrinking down, that um, not not wanting to create waves, just wanting to please everyone around you because then that attention's not on you, um, is very much up at the moment. And there was so much shame involved in that, and that was what came up in a session last night. Very much for a couple of people was shame, and then overnight I don't know what happened when I was asleep. Something happened.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I woke up this morning and just with this intense epiphany of something that had been, just out of reach. When you just can't, something's there and you just can't see it. And then it became clear this morning, and it was just such an intense release and such an intense relief, that what was unseen is now seen. And it's sort of like I was crying, I was emotional, I was excited, I was all those sort of things, because that thing, that seed that's been in the darkness for so long is now poking its head out, and you can see what it is. So you can actually go to work, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't see it, when you've got a blind spot, and something's there and you just can't access it, it's bloody maddening.
Yeah. Yeah, the shame thing. Now, we were talking about it. She's been talking about self-worth for 6 weeks. I've seen other people talking about it. But the shame thing is like very humbling, because like if we ask ourselves, is there anything you're ashamed of? That's a great way to start. You know what I mean? Because immediately the ego comes up and starts defending.
Yeah.
And so it's gotten easy now to see what we're saying when we're saying it virtually. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Well, when you just said that, I'm sort of like thinking, how much time have we got? You want to go into shame? Okay, let's do that.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I think we're already there. But look, it's been a work in progress for a lot of years, and it's just so multi-layered. It's so multi-dimensional. When I had this epiphany this morning, it's sort of like there was one narrative, and then there was me shooting off in so many directions at the one time, traveling so many directions, and feeling this energy at all the places it was popping up. but still through the thread of this one narrative. And it was just sort of like, Morgan said, "Do you want to talk?" And I was just thinking, I don't know if I can, because I won't make any sense, because I am in so many different places in this one moment. And it was just sort of like, when I did call her and we did talk, it was just like rapid fire, blah, 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 blah. Just so much shooting out of my mouth.
Splintered again. That's why Monday.
And that takes me to Patience Grasshopper, Patience, Master Splinter in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, sorry.
I saw a meme and it said, patience. Okay, when I think it's like when someone shows you patience, it's the softest kind of love. Like, I don't know exactly how it said it, but I always look at those things in context of myself. And I was like, yeah, what a great way to treat yourself. Like we don't think it, because we get impatient. Time by itself, like even what you said about Mondays, or what I heard about Mondays and how you're kind of looking at it. Yeah, it's like, let's see what we can do versus, what's coming at me. What's it going to be this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, shame is that's a heavy one.
Yeah.
That's a heavy one.
Anything you'd like to share, Todd?
Me? Oh, I have plenty. Believe me, I have plenty. I was saying that earlier, that when I was in Sedona, Franco, I guess he, checked in with my soul, and he was like, "You got a little bit of shame," and that's why I made that comment a while ago, because I was like, "What?" He said, "You look good everywhere else, but you there's some things," and so I started looking into it, and I hit it like June, July, August. I started juicing. After about 3 weeks of laying on the couch doing nothing except for getting hamburgers and just getting ready. Sometimes you just kind of like grunge out before you, go on the spirit walk or the dream walk. But yeah, so it was a lot of like revisiting to the deepest degree. Really like sitting with the events and accepting the person that committed the atrocities.
Yeah.
It was that deep. And I mean, I forced myself to not become that person, but almost become, you know what I mean? Like actually just be it and not hold back anything and feel the frequencies of it. And it was pretty interesting. Thank God I was juicing.
And something that came up for me this morning was I tend to take it all on me.
Yeah.
And we are co-creating. I'm not the only one creating.
That's right.
What manifests in me as shame. Yeah, I'm responsible for my shame, but I'm not the only one creating that dynamic.
Right.
And this, I did a post about this, and I don't know if it made much sense, but it's sort of like, I can only take responsibility for my part of the creation.
Yeah.
I can't take responsibility for someone else's part of the creation.
No.
I can only take responsibility for my own. So when I do that, sometimes it looks like I am letting the other co-creators off the hook, but that's not what it's about. I'm not, accepting that this is all me.
Yes.
Because we are part of a collective, we are part of a unity. And so what I'm feeling, others have to be feeling as well. I'm still not making sense. It's still
you're
not
making
very
sense
clear.
because it's still, we're leaving the old and going into the new, which is, everybody paid the same price for the ticket to be here. It's not like anybody had a tougher road than someone else. It's just not that way. And So then you have like I saw another post or a meme that I shared. It was be careful when you're like, you know, going to help somebody. You know, like kind of like don't enable or don't. I think it said don't. You might be interfering with their karmic, development or their karmic, tests that they're, something like that. So there is some of that, but it's kind of difficult.
Mm.
I'm still, I still feel waves of it now and then with my kids. Um, and I'm direct, and then I might soften up, catch me at the right time, and I kind of fall back a little bit, and then I just correct myself. But
Mm.
well, it's
Yeah.
we're watching. Not only are we watching incredible transformations by individuals and ourselves, but we're also watching what we're experiencing in intensity and whatever you want to call it, shadow, whatever you want to call it. We're watching others do it, and it's a bit painful at times.
Mm. Mm.
It's painful enough
Mm.
watching myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I tried to express in my post, um, when I am going through changes where I've realized my behaviors and my part in a dynamical relationship, and then through blockages in my throat chakra, I don't communicate what's going on with me, and my co-creators keep creating in the old creation, and I've moved on. I'm trying to do the work and stuff like that. And yeah, really how important communication is, because I've trusted the subtle realms. I've trusted the subtle energy that if I'm feeling this, people are going to be able to pick up on what I'm feeling. I don't need to speak the words. They're going to
Yeah,
know.
that's a really great insight.
And
It, yeah.
it's not always the case, because we become so desensitized, especially in those close relationships, that there are unhealed wounds and things like that. So we don't recognize the subtle energies
That's
when they
right.
arise,
That's
and
right.
communication is really, really important. And I'm learning that. And I'm trying to
One
communicate.
one word at a time. One day at a time.
Mm.
One.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to let go of the fact that if I make an ass of myself, it doesn't matter.
That's right. Well,
You've taught me that, Todd. Show your ass.
well, but this voice again, this whatever you want to call it, this mother's voice, the divine feminine voice in everyone. If you want to even look at it as a whole, that hasn't spoke. So there's gonna be it's not just going to go to an equal point and just be smooth and it's going to have a little bit of a pendulum effect. It's going to if you're gonna make a mistake, take the attitude that you have. That's my point, and not a mistake, but you'll be lucky to hit it perfectly. Body, mind, and spirit when you communicate it. You're just getting used to it. People are building the bridges, so there might be a little bite to the bark, but it'll soften up. And frankly, the part of us that's dominated our voice needs to get their ass chewed a little bit. And this is internal, and this is in all kinds of different scenarios in our experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Another theme highlighted this week is forgiveness.
Yeah.
And you got to forgive yourself the way you forgive others. Like if someone gets angry and has a tirade, I'm not going to hold that against them. It's not for me to judge where they're coming from or what's happened to them, or
Yeah.
hold a grudge or anything. I'll forgive them. It's like, hey, you're having a moment. Have your moment, get it out. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And so I need to show myself that same forgiveness and compassion. So, yeah. And I have been. I
Yeah.
have been.
I can
You know,
tell. I can
come
tell by the
such
look
a
on
hell of a
you.
long way in that.
I mean, you're just radiating.
Oh, it's because I'm sweating. I'm so
Well,
hot, but then I'm drinking tea.
and here's the other thing: we can do it in the moment, virtually in the
Mm,
moment. So, I mean, you know, to me, like okay, you said, what's your story? It was like June, July, August. That was my number one mantra. I must have said it 50 times a day. And some were for things that I was going back to, and some was just in whatever was going on that day. It was like, I
mm,
forgive myself. I
mm,
just literally said, I forgive myself and move on, because what else can I do?
mm,
Take it with
mm,
me? I
mm.
mean, but it took, that was part of the process.
Yeah,
She used that word. I think it came in the session you were talking about. She
yeah.
said, and I said I'd never heard this before, unconditional forgiveness.
Mm,
And I went,
hmm.
oh, wow. Because if you're in a field of unconditional forgiveness, so many things don't exist.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
judgment's gone,
yeah,
or at least it's lessened or something.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I know last time we spoke, I was really delving into the depth of experience. And for me, this forgiveness and compassion to self was a big part of that.
Yeah,
Um, because part of that depth of experience for me was very deep in shadow.
yeah,
Um, you know, the past. You have skeletons. You have things that you wouldn't do the same if you had the chance again, because you've grown and you've expanded, but you look at it as your depth of experience,
yeah.
and you can look at yourself in awe and wonder and go, wow, you went there, you're
Yeah.
pretty ballsy.
Uh-huh. That's right. I just remembered what you said last time you were on.
Yeah.
uh, oh, believe me. Yeah. Uh, yeah, because how would you know that you do it differently if you hadn't had the experience?
Mm, mm, mm.
The
and
one,
and today I wouldn't do it differently.
yeah.
I would probably do it all the same again.
Oh, to get to this point, I get that. Like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but in this point in my path.
Yeah,
But should something
yeah.
present itself that was similar to something that presented to itself to me in the past, that I didn't listen to my intuition or I just didn't make a good decision, I'll know I'll have a different choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, faced with that same decision from the position that you are in now, and with the knowledge and wisdom that you have now, you would choose a different path.
This is
Um,
a hardcore human 101.
mm, mm, yeah,
I mean, this is the real stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw this. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Since I want to inspire you to show your ass.
I
so,
better put my glasses on for that one.
well, according to Morgan, you're going to need like a telescope to see my ass. She says I didn't have one. I don't have one. So I keep seeing, you see a lot of these, what do you call them? Like seminars where they have, tele summits, and they have all these people. And, of course, we all know a lot of the people. Some have been on the show and everything. And I was looking at one that's a pretty big one I saw 3 or 4 days ago. And I downloaded the image, and I looked at it. And of course, we're going to do a Soulogy Fest in September in Arkansas. So I was thinking, what if everyone on that picture, so this is metaphoric and literal, everyone on that picture was all of us? Like, and it just was this, I don't know, like this level of appreciation for being able to talk to people in the community, basically.
Mm,
People that are
mm,
going through the same thing, people that have their highs and lows and ups and downs, and you know, I don't know. To me, I just feel like that there's so much code in that compared to, and I'm not knocking anybody, but compared to instructing and teaching. I know it all has its place, and energy work has its place, but you talked about finding your voice, and there's been so much talk about the feminine's voice or the mother's voice coming out in the world and in all of us, that that's the way I see it. That's her voice. I don't see her voice when somebody's instructing me, because I think that's basically, has some of the old paradigm in it, and it's nothing bad about it, because, we're in the middle of making a transition. I think we've all realized by now they're not going to flip a switch and everything's just going to be cool. Or certainly doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something, I know I am not a teacher. That is one thing. Look, there's plenty of things I know I'm not. And a teacher is definitely one of them. That is not me. It's not my place. I am a beer.
A beer.
I can only be what I am in the moment. And if that's a scared little girl, then that's what I'm going to be. Or if that's a powerful priestess or
Right.
goddess, that's what I'm going to be.
That's
And
right.
in any one moment, I don't know who's going to show up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's what
I remember being asked a question once, and I ran out of the room. And it was not a difficult question. It was just, what do you think of this? And I'm sort of like, oh my God, you asked me for my opinion, a question. I can't do this. I'm out of here. And I ran out of the room. And yeah, that was okay. I don't even know why I brought that up.
Well,
I think that relevance that has.
because but that's what I'm saying. It's like the being thing, like even the way, if you look at the practitioners that have come on and how that's all evolved, it's almost like a mutual healing or a mutual experience or something. Two or more people, gathering, whatever, where it becomes more collaborative at every level. And I know a lot of this stuff sounds like, oh, it's a flower of life formation, and that's utopian, or that's new age BS, but I really feel like that's what we're aligning with and we're falling into. Now, do we hit total perfection while we're in our physical bodies? I don't know. But I certainly can see in my life experience and yours and so many people that, as crazy as their life looks, especially decisions made in the last few years, is something pretty amazing happening.
I got a pretty strong confirmation yesterday afternoon that I'm traveling my path. I'm traveling the direction that I need to travel for my soul. And it was a strong confirmation, and I was so grateful for it.
I think your soul's going to keep pushing you north.
And yeah,
Dude,
I'm happy to travel
the
in that
weather,
direction.
you don't have the old circles, so you just keep,
Yeah.
you know,
And maybe I'll just keep traveling north, across oceans, across foreign lands.
yes,
I don't know. I
am,
know there is something in the north, and I have
yeah,
no desire to put any labels or energies on it.
yeah.
I just know that north is the direction
uh,
today,
Arkansas,
right now in this moment.
September 23rd, 24th, and 25th, Arkansas.
That's just before my birthday,
When's your birthday?
28th
We could extend
of
it.
September.
We could
We
have
could.
we could have a long after party.
Yay! Better save some pennies, huh? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe abundance will smile upon us all. I mean, it seems like more and more people. It's been nice too, because you see people look for assistance from the community. And if I go back, 8 or 10 years, and I just think about how people have helped each other without enabling, like being sincere. I mean, you see that, but now I see less of it. So that must mean that we're all getting what we need as we need it, or something's happening to our experience, and we're not creating lack and that type of thing, as
mm,
we were.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, I definitely see that. And
I want a Bundaberg, but yeah, going back to that
what
post,
rum?
huh? A what? Rum?
There's Bundaberg rum as well as the Bundaberg ginger
Oh,
beer.
there's a Bundaberg rum.
Yeah, yeah, there's a rum as
What
well.
does
And
it
people
taste
go a
like?
little bit crazy on Bundaberg rum
Well, rum
sometimes.
is pretty.
High sugar content.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Rum's pretty. I stayed with my friend in the Bronx in 2017, and they were Dominican, and his dad, was it his dad? Yeah, it was his dad. It was a 4 bedroom World War II Bronx apartment building, and and his dad would come in at night. He would come out of his room and he would pour this rum, and I think I had like 4 one night, and I was out. I was like stumbling. I'm like, what the hell is that? Like heroin?
I'm not surprised. Uh, over here, my husband's family had called that a cowboy drink. You
What
know,
is?
if your kid falls down and they scrape their knee, you give them a cowboy drink. You give them a little thimble full of rum.
You guys are crazy.
Whiskey, rum, whatever.
That sounds like a cowboy thing.
That was back in the day. You know, we wouldn't do that now, would we?
Shoot, old school.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
had some shit going on. They knew what
yeah, of
things were about.
course, of course. It's just the whole energy of attachment, overindulgence, and I'm not talking about it's just that type of thing, but they're all patterns, they're all frequencies,
Mm,
and that's another thing for me. It's like it's easier for me to clear the deck. Let's say something starts occurring and several different storylines are kind of running, like and like you were saying at the beginning, like you start thinking something and you start thinking something, and so now I can go in and go, oh, wait a minute, okay, this is like the pattern, and it's actually the same thing for
mm,
all of them, right? Which
mm,
is
mhm,
becoming like 2 choice points. One, are you gonna do you need to bring it with you? Like that, I keep hearing that in my head. Like, what are you taking
mhm,
with you? I mean, this is what I'm taking
mhm,
with me. My
mm.
heart, my friends, my whatever. It's like all the other stuff just
Yeah,
it's. Kirsty
yeah.
was Kirsty was talking about her and her daughter were having a conversation last week, and uh, the relationship between consciousness and memory. And she was kind of talking about how she feels that it's important for her to say some things about what's going on, not from a separation standpoint or a charge standpoint, but just to inform people so they can make a choice in their own mind.
Mm,
And how she was saying, we couldn't really, I think she verbalized it better than I couldn't. But basically, if it's not like fluffy love and light, don't look at that, it goes away. It's more like, I see that there. I'm going to call it out to what it is. I'm going to focus on my own situation and my own circles of life, and it won't be a memory because it's no longer in the consciousness. Some kind of
mm,
like quantum relationship.
mm,
Because if you think
mm,
about it, whether it's something that just happened and say we got in a spat 2 weeks ago, or something that happened to one of us 10 years ago, the same thing applies. Are we going to take
mm,
it with us?
mm,
Is it who I am?
mm.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. When oh gosh, how long ago was it now? 2015. When I was studying, one of our modules was ritual and myth, and my ritual, we had to create a ritual, and my ritual was having filling a backpack with rocks, and
Feeling.
that was the burdens that I carried,
Oh.
and this backpack full of rocks to the point where I could not stand up. And so then the ritual was putting down the backpack, letting go of the burdens and the rocks, and allowing all those things that couldn't come in because of the burdens I'd carried, all those beautiful things,
Yeah. Yeah.
could now come in and be received because I'd put down my backpack of burdens. And it was a really powerful thing, and I've reconnected to that a few times recently.
That is powerful. That is powerful.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
It's like a rock. It's like a weight.
absolutely.
You were talking about how you went from 3 to 2 to 1 back to 2, like that whole.
Yeah,
Because I remember when I went out and did what I did. Because I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, when was the moment? When was the moment that you actually took this on, head on, 100%? And it was the day I went into the street, and so it was a very like the revisit that I was having with it was like, okay, that was it. It was like anchoring to a moment, right? And then like the magnitude of it, the weight, the rocks, the backpack hit me, and I was like, holy fuck. And then I remember, like in the first day, going, I don't have any of these things attached to me anymore. Like being the dad, being the provider, going to work, car paint, everything was gone. And I needed every bit of the isolation, but it reminds me of what you're talking about, like a backpack. Talk about unpacking.
And to symbolize your experience, to symbolize and ritualize,
Yeah,
what you perceive as your burden, and put it down.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Key is not to pick it back up.
And then it keeps going. It keeps going. Like, like for me, it was like I carried these rocks because of the 6 ascendeds I sat with, and Jesus and Mary and Archangel Michael. I had 9 rocks and 3 more for spirit guides in this little pouch. So that was a ritual. And I was doing rituals. But there was a time when the pattern returned, which is you got to let these rocks go. Do you get it? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like frequency. Like the thing I do when I'm starting to feel my frequency speed up, as in become a bit frazzled, is the tuning forks.
Yeah.
And since I've been over here in Castlemaine, I hadn't pulled them out once. I had not used them once the whole time I've been working over here. And like I could feel my energy, I could feel my frequency really teetering, really teetering. And then in the session last night, there was frequencies brought into it in a couple of different ways by a couple of different people. And it's sort of like, yeah, that's right. That's that thing I do. Better go and get those out. So at 5 o'clock this morning, trudge out to my van, go rummaging through. Here they are, bring them in. Tune myself up. Crikey. Those good things that we know help us and assist us in our journey.
Yeah.
That sometimes we completely forget about when we're absorbed in our own reality.
That's right. Yeah, I think sound, music for me, but sound and, just, and yeah, there's certain things that, but I'm finding, like if it's music for me, it's typically not lyrics. It's instrumental,
Yeah. Yeah. Instrumental. Yeah. Beautiful. Yes, Mick, hop on and say hello. Come and join us.
Here, I'll send Mick a link. Mick. Mick, hadn't seen Mick in a long time.
You too, Bruce.
Bruce has
comments there.
Bruce has a standing invitation.
Yeah.
He came on once. He was amazing.
Oh, yes, and it was a full moon in Libra. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I just happened to be a Libra and just felt the intensity of it. All about relationship. Mm.
And Neptune, Jupiter,
Mm.
conjunct. I mean, to me, they're like weather forecast.
Mm.
I just feel like that we're more present. We're getting the hang of it. We've gotten the hang of it. Not getting. We've gotten the hang of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Absolutely. Until we don't.
Think. Well, think. No, please. No, but things seem to be more localized, and localized may sound like it's you know physical proximity, but it's not. It's who's in your field, what's in your field,
Mm.
and it seems
Yeah.
like it's becoming, being more present. Your presence is literally, pulling itself in to
Yeah.
what you most
Yeah.
align with. Because to
Yeah.
me, less and less people are now. It could ratchet up again, like you said, but less and less. I'm not seeing as much when it comes to Ukraine and COVIDs and masks. I'm not seeing, Black Lives Matters. I'm not seeing what we were seeing in these past 2 years. And even what I'm seeing, there's a lot of people talking from, I would just say like from a neutrality state.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Mm.
see
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see more
Yeah.
people having uh, strong discussions of conviction in regard to narratives of light workers and starseeds in the earth and what's really going on and what the real history is than I do with people arguing over those things.
Mm. I just want to change the subject for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Virgo here has just said justice, balance, harmony for the Libra. In our session last night, Morgan brought in this beautiful thing where you seed a creation of, how was it worded, Morgan?
Were you
I can't remember. So we seeded something in the session.
right? Right.
So we each brought these seeds, or had these seeds, and so me being the naive creator that I am sometimes, decides to bring 3 things.
You brought 3 things.
Yeah. So I brought peace, balance, not peace, balance, peace, love, and harmony. Are the 3 things that I wanted to seed. Um, and yeah. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment, the seating, beautiful visuals and everything. So I might as well go in and share it. Why not? So these seeds. So I had, I'll show my hand. So I had my seed in my hand, and the seed turned into a little ball of light that then just hovered. Then the second seed, so that was the peace seed. Then the second seed, love, came forward and again hovered above just next to the peace seed. And then came harmony, and that hovered there. And then all 3 of them shot up into the air and did this little dance. And by this little dance, they were forming things like the images. So there was an images of the lotus flower, and then I saw all different sorts of geometry and sacred geometry and mathematical equations and things. And then these seeds joined together and came down as this ball of light into my heart.
Wow.
And once the ball of light reached my heart, then it expanded out as this sonic wave, this sonic ripple that then expanded out across the land. And I had a couple of images. One was a little girl who was crying, and then this sonic wave reached her, and it was just transformed into that peace, love, and harmony. And it went around and then came back into me. And it came back in with a message of frequency. I've said it before. My main aim is to maintain my frequency. My purpose, my soul purpose, is to maintain my frequency. And when I maintain my frequency at its optimal resonance, I am in peace, love, and harmony. And that then expands out to affect all of those people who are in my realm or energetically touch and things like that. And in that moment, it just seemed so simple. It's sort of like, yes, all
Yeah.
I have to do is hold my frequency.
Yeah.
And yeah, then, I went to sleep and, had
Like,
all these epiphanies in my sleep. I can't remember anything from my sleep, but I know I woke up transformed with things in my forefront that were not of peace, love, and harmony. So everything left inside of me that was not of peace, love, and harmony was kind of getting pushed up to the surface. Um, but in quite a gentle way. Just for me to acknowledge, for me to understand, for me to have that consciousness
yeah,
of.
to be conscious of it.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're saying that, like, and it makes sense. Like, you got you blasted yourself. You
Mm,
made your offering, which came from you, and then you could say the higher you or whatever blasted you, and it pushed all that stuff up. Is that what you're saying?
mm,
Yeah.
mm. Yeah, yeah. And then, I open Facebook and see that the image you've used um, to share uh,
Oh,
our talk today was of me as a little girl. And it was just so appropriate, because that
I
was
wonder
her in
what
my vision.
I wonder what that's about. Because I had a lucid dream 2 nights ago, and the main symbolic character was a little girl, a little blonde-headed girl that was lost. And so we took her in, and she became part of the dream and everything went okay. But then, like, I got it again when I was doing a show or something, and then I got it a third time,
Mm,
and then I heard somebody else talk about. So, I don't know if they were talking about their inner child or what, but I don't know. It just seemed to me, and I still haven't figured it out. I tried to sit with it, and it didn't feel like mine.
mm,
But not everything does these days, right?
mm, mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm, very much so.
yeah. Yeah. And then that lucid dream, we were packing up, which I'm about to do here. Like, I'm slowly going to start packing everything up. I don't, and you hear all these people saying, "I'm packing up. I don't know where I'm going," kind of thing. And again, not to take it so much literally, but I just realize that it's energetic.
Mm,
Like, what does
mm,
that mean? Because it can't just apply, or it just doesn't feel like it only applies to physical relocation or change of scenery or change of work environment or whatever. It feels more like we're on the move, all of us, kind
mm,
of thing.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm. It does. It does feel like that.
yeah, it
Yeah,
really does.
yeah, yeah.
I just got a flashback to it. So we were packing up, going somewhere. There's a little girl on the porch, and she's crying, and not like too bad, but she's scared and lost. And I don't remember what happened, but her future or her situation came into balance. I remember the energy of that.
Mm,
But I mean, if you think
mm,
about the world and our collective body, the collective story, suppression of the feminine. Well, what is the feminine? As a little girl. Like, is she what we're most ashamed of? Is she who we neglected the most? She being the energy of her in all of us, right? But it
mm,
makes sense because in all of our distortion, most of it's rooted in the traumas of our, um, formidable years. Let's just put it that way. Our coming
mm,
out years, and then the rest just became like repeats kind of thing. So I mean, I don't know.
mm. It's funny because when I think back to my childhood, I see myself as a little girl. I used to make up songs and dances and things like that, and I was happy.
Yeah,
That's what I remember.
yeah,
that's what I want to remember. And then, doing all your adult, grown up shadow
Adult.
work and stuff. It's sort of like you discover all this other stuff. Um, it's I find that quite bizarre.
Yeah. Well, if you think
Yeah.
about it too, like a kid, like if you have kids, you were a kid, I would, one thing about kids, they're very resilient, and they can go into their own little space and kind of clear, just be like you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I guess, another thing is, that we developed whatever we developed, and that's kind of what you're describing, like, being conscious and operating, your frequency for the best optimal, experience, which actually is that tuning fork too that you talk about.
Mm.
I think we're doing it. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I mean,
It brings up that book. I can't remember who wrote it, and I could have the title completely wrong, which is not surprising, but The Body Keeps the Score.
The Body Keeps the Score. I like that title.
Yeah. Could have been Peter Levine, might have been someone completely different, don't know. But it's kind of true. It's kind of true. Our cellular memory holds a lot. And I really feel that we've explored and purged and dived in to so much of that shadow that is kept in the cellular memory, and released so much of it that, this age of light, this age of Aquarius, for want of a better word, is really starting to blossom. And we see it in so many ways and reflected in so many images back to us.
Yeah.
And that little girl crying on the porch because she's about to leave everything she's known for her entire existence until she gets to the new adventure and goes, oh, okay, look, this is all exciting and new. This is great.
Yeah.
So, that adaptability, that changeability of children, I think is so incredibly important and pertinent for us. And, a lot of us have been on a long journey with that, rediscovering that joyous child within us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That and humor to me are two things I know are 100%. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like if I'm I don't want to say acting like a child, but like in my childlike wonder, like my curiosity, discovery, and just exploring, like from an energetic standpoint, and then laughing. Like that's so important.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see us as adults be able to have a tantrum. Just express it as a child does. Get down on the ground, kick and scream, let it out, get back up and go, okay, can we go to the park now? Can you push me on the swing? Wouldn't that be so easy? Wouldn't that be great?
I think
it's sort of like, get it out of your system.
And I think that's probably part of that collective little girl too, because she didn't get to. And there's nothing wrong if she does it. Now you could extrapolate that in a lot of ways to a female, to other things, but seriously, we were talking about this last week, so it must be in the field, and that is to allow somebody to say whatever the hell they want, whether they're off the reservation, off their rocker, on their face, or stoic and whatever, without judgment. Without interference, and like you said early on, and right now, like, okay, I'm done. It's okay. Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's when we say, is that okay? That's not okay. Or if I'm the person throwing the tantrum and I say, what do you think about that? I want to engage, but it's really the release of the energy, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm,
And
mm.
again, we don't know how to do this stuff perfectly. So
Yep,
there's some
yep.
collateral damage that seems to be minimizing as we take more steps forward.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something personal, which I don't usually speak about, is my daughter, who gets she has real anxious episodes,
Mm.
and she quite often rings me because I'm one of the only people in her world who understands and won't judge her,
Mm.
and just allows her to express what she needs to express, while trying to be supportive. And it to a lot of people, it looks like she's having a tantrum. She's by she's an adult now, and people have difficulty dealing with her because she has these heightened outbursts. But when she's not in this heightened state, she is an absolute powerhouse. She's very kind and compassionate, very giving, very loving, and very wise for her young years. And that it was her image that came to me, with, let's just get it out. Let's have a tantrum. Let's release all of that pent up energy, that frenetic energy that gets held inside of us. And I remember, a few years back, that 7-second little video I did
Yeah.
of a scream, and it was so potent. And for me, that was my tantrum.
I loved it.
That was me
I have that.
expressing
I
what I
have that in
needed
my
to
archives
express.
here. That'll be
Yeah.
played on the Soulogy Network for years and years and years. When I love that one, and I love this post you did probably about the same time, and you were like working in the bush. Uh, Whenever you had that other that job, that
Yeah.
assignment, and I guess you were out. Y'all were out. I mean, and you're having this moment. You're like, I'm gonna ministrate on the earth, and you talked, and it was actually really deep. Talked about the feminine, like this total abandon. Just this is part of nature. This is natural, and the power of it. I remember that. That was about the same time you did the screen.
I can't remember that.
Yeah. Oh, you don't?
Oh,
It was
no.
fascinating. It was fascinating. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I mean, because
God.
it's because I love when somebody expresses something, be it a post or live, whatever, and it makes you think.
Mm,
I put up a lot of posts, well over 1,000 posts in the group every month, and I don't really. I watch the energy because I want to be responsible for the frequency I put out. So like things get less of a negative connotation, less of a sarcastic. You have to start kind of pulling things in.
mm,
But I notice people are that what I see, there's like people lost in the conviction of their belief, right? So you'll see all this chatter go back and forth, and I think that what I'm referring to, like in your post, to me that's the kind of stuff that's really taken root, like and specifically with a lot of females, because that they carry the energy.
mm,
They're the ones
mm,
more experienced with the intuition, with the knowings, and it's never been applied, and now it's being applied, and that's requiring the voice,
mm.
or let's
Geez, I wish
say,
I could remember that post. Was it must have been one of my alter egos, was
I'll
it?
look, I'll, no, it was good. I'll look it up. Monique, bleeding on the earth. No, it was really good. It was,
Oh, I know. I
yeah,
think I know it.
yeah, it was good. It was good. Well, because it makes you
Uh,
think. I mean, I
yeah.
like I like to read posts because they make me think, not so I can justify or rationalize my convictions. Although I've certainly done that, but as time goes on, we all evolve. But that's it. Where you start to look at it, consider another viewpoint.
Mm,
There's a lot to that,
mm,
especially when it comes to men and women, or masculine, feminine, or whatever other polarities you want to put out there that involve labels.
mm, mm. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to, you know, dance naked around a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Let it all go. You know, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
hopefully it rains at the same time with thunder and lightning and drums and chickens and who knows, everything.
Yeah. Wiling out. We call it wiling out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
letting it all out, which is the same energy if you think of it as a tantrum. Maybe not a pent
Mm,
up, really suppressed, huge release, but like if you think about it, it's almost like an energetic orgasm, like an
mm,
energetic. It's natural, like and however that comes out. Are we supposed to be like walking around like Buddha all the time, or can we go for a bike ride down a steep hill to get the thrill if that's what we like, or can we, whatever. So
mm,
many of the things that we and it's not even like society, it's our own thought processes going, you can't do that, you can't do that, you're going to look like an
mm.
idiot.
Oh yeah. 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 I saw something somewhere that said, I can't even remember what it said. Said something, oh gosh, here she goes again. What was it saying? Um, Something profound.
This is it. This is it. If you don't get it here, you're not going to get it anywhere. This is it right here, right now. This is it.
Yeah, gosh, I'll just send that out in frequency. Okay, make your own
You
interpretation.
just did. You just did something. And see if you God, what was I going to say? If you look at a lot of the narratives of our connection to or whatever you want to call it, the stories, the information downloads of our connection to, let's say, ET family, star family, they don't have, for the most part, like you can kind of feel like you hear Arcturians are really, warm but they don't have the empathic ability
Mm,
of the human's range of emotions. That's a very unique thing. So to me,
mm,
like you just doing that, that's it. That's the
mm,
frequency that speaks to me. It's so pure.
mm.
It's so like no judgment. Like it is what it is. Fuck it. You show your ass. You don't. It's just and it is childlike.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
childlike.
yeah, yeah. Well, the children are our future.
Yeah.
They are our past and they are our present. And they are us.
Hmm. That's right. That's very profound because we
I
think of
just
the
made that up.
You see how you can go from one end to the other so fast? But if you think about it, because I'm watching this, Morgan turned me on to this, it's a badass series. And I haven't watched the series. I haven't been able to for probably 3 months. It's called Discovery of Witches. Have you heard of this?
Mm. Oh, I
Oh,
saw Morgan post about it, but
it's
no, I haven't seen
it's
it.
it's good. Like the energetics of it all speak to everything that we're doing and have
Mm,
been doing. Like it's so
mm,
profound. But there's a part where she's a weaver and they're teaching her how to make magic, and she's a special one. She contains all the elements, and so it starts out because the teacher goes, you could see from her eyes, she could see the cosmic web, like the one you see in space, and
hmm
it's everywhere. No, I forgot.
Hey!
Watch the fucking movie. Okay. Oh my god. I have no I have no clue as to where I was going with that.
That's all right. We'll weave our own.
Yes, well we've run. I have no idea where that was going.
Contagious, isn't it?
It's an absolute mind swipe. And you're talking about last night. So last night, because I'm very sensitive to my nights, because I do a lot of lucid dreaming. So I'm almost like conscious, uh, even if I'm asleep. Last night, I went down. I don't remember anything. It just remember
Mm,
it was a heavy, heavy sleep. I wake up. Morgan sends me a note. She says, I slept like a bull last night. Like she never even moves the covers or moves where
Mm.
she's at. And she was like on the other side of the bed. And so it was a real heavy, kind of not heavy, but like a really hard sleep. And
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
feel like you were talking about too.
yeah,
Maybe it was the moon.
yeah. I know something happened. I know there was
Hmm.
stuff. Um, but what it was, I have no consciousness of.
Right.
And I don't need to. That's okay.
Mm-mm.
Um, but yeah.
No, I think the figuring it out stuff. I mean, it's natural. It's part of our curiosity. I mean, it's got our curiosity running in it, maybe fear running in it, maybe whatever. But I don't think it's part of the communication that we're formulating here.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
so
mm.
much is of
I,
its feeling.
yeah, I know my seeds were growing that were planted last night, and you know,
Well, that sounds
woke
about
up the
right.
garden. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In a Yeah, that sounds just like how you would expect it to work. You get handed
Mm.
a beautiful ritualistic activation, and you go to bed, sleep sound, and wake up, and you get hit by a boulder, and have a quick 45-minute dark night of the soul, and you're back up again, and you have exactly what you planted: peace and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Boom, boom.
instant manifestation.
Mm,
So the dude's
mm.
not hot, huh?
No, no,
Was it?
no hot guys in my life,
Was
except for
it?
you, Todd.
I'm trying to think. It
Uh,
was all right. Oh my god, I don't even. It's pretty rough. It's
I can
pretty
feel
rough.
myself
I think I'm
blushing.
ahead of the game here. I'm 60. I, but I,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I was
50.
thinking about it today. I was like, sometimes you want to really like take a long hot shower and just because I was working around the house because whenever I put like conditioner in my hair, I can't just like get under the thing. I have to like you know crouch my back or get on my
Yep.
knees because
No, I don't know. I'm 5'1".
well, this is a real pain in the ass. I've had one house where I remodeled it and I made sure it was but so I kind of squatted down a bit on my knees, like didn't go on my knees, but just kind of put my butt down, and you know, and so I was going, wow, I remember 10 years ago I couldn't even do this. Like I
Mm,
remember
mm,
having arthritic conditions and just it was a daily part, an accepted part of life, and had been for many years, right? And I was
mhm.
thinking, wow, I feel pretty good. And like you do when you're like 17 years old,
Yeah,
it's just like not boundless energy, but it was an interesting little download.
yeah, yeah. Injuries or conditions that once affected you are no longer present.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You had some of that going on, didn't you?
I
And
did.
that's
I did.
wild. I heard
Yeah,
I
that was
heard
really powerful.
that happened in a session, right? Or
Yep, yep,
yeah,
yep.
that's wild. Go ahead.
I spoke about it before when we went into the session last night, to the ladies that were there. It was really, really powerful. Something that had pain that had plagued me for years. Go into a session, address the pain, do a process, and I would say immediately, but definitely within 24 hours, that pain is gone.
Wow.
And it hasn't come back. It's been, I don't know, I think it's been maybe 6 weeks
Wow.
now, and that pain has not returned.
So you've done, you were in school in 2015. I know we're all connected to some degree or another, but like consciously and actively, especially being in a community, because I know several people that went to that school with you in Morgan. So you've been exposed to sessions and different modalities and even like say group meditation environments or these types of groups that y'all are doing. Uh, it just feels like I don't know how to say this, but like what you're describing, I know that there's something about the person's belief system that had to
mm,
be neutralized or equilibrium in order for that to happen. But it also,
mm.
I guess what I'm asking you is it does it feel natural to you, the idea of instant healing versus say 5 years ago when you would work on yourself? Does it feel like that it's very doable, like an instant, what you might call instant alignment or healing or manifestation?
You know, I've always believed in it. I've always believed in it, but I've never received it to that extent.
Wow.
I've never brought it through to that extent because these two issues were things that I have worked on for years. I have
Wow.
had beings come in to assist me with one of these issues, and I've never ever been able to remove the pain.
Wow.
I don't know if whatever was causing the pain has been cured or not. I don't know. I haven't been to a doctor in years, so I have no medical
Yeah, me either.
background to draw on, no diagnoses or anything to draw on. But I know by that pain being gone, something healed,
Yeah.
something happened. And then you look at Jamie Miller.
Yeah.
You know, he broke his wrist. You know what, five maybe 6 days ago,
Uh-huh.
and you know the journey he's been on and his rapid acceleration. Um, you know, and he's in the zone. He is totally in the zone. And yeah, I'd like for someone to say that something's not possible because he's going to prove them wrong. Yeah, so I anything is possible. Anything can be done.
Do you
And I believe that the more we believe, the more powerful that belief gets. Just like with a negative belief, you know,
right,
or a
right.
self, you know, deprecating belief or whatever. Um, yeah.
Do you think like in these circles, like we did that workshop, it's it's not really like a, I wouldn't call this type of thing like a group meditation, more like a mutual uh spontaneous in the present type of experience with two or more people. Like again,
Mm.
you've done so much of this work like over the last few years. Does it feel like that do you feel connected to the other people? Do you feel like there is a unified field, and do you feel like that you're getting almost like a group merging, like you have a larger local akashic to pull from, and you know
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I know by doing this group work, and I know in that particular instance with this healing, that space was expertly held by two beautiful, powerful women
uh-huh.
who weren't actually involved in my vision, but were very much a part of it.
Wow.
Um, so it's like it gets amplified, it gets magnified. The energy, the power, the healing gets amplified to phenomenal levels.
Yeah. See, and I think it's different too because like I know early in my awakening I had a lot of different experiences with, let's say, psychic medium types, and I always had this ability to kind of like experience it together. I guess that's how I'd put it. Like see what they're saying or whatever. And then I met Morgan, and it went to a whole different level with her.
Mm, mm,
So like it's one thing for two people, but and I've probably been, I don't know, but to be in a group of people where it's open, like there's no we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. There's some certain how would you say it, like locations of consciousness, or you know what I mean, like saying going to the new earth grid, which is really us anyway, right? And
mm.
then everybody goes in, and these things start happening, and then people are talking about the same thing, they're experiencing the same thing,
mm,
right down to the visuals. Not every single person, but enough that you go, whoa,
mm.
how's, like that speaks to like a beehive intelligence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
And see,
yeah.
and to me, that carries the same spirit of what I was talking about earlier. I'm not knocking anything or anyone. I'm just making an observation where having a conversation like this to me is, from what I can see and what I experience, now what I see in others and what I experience, has incredible code. And then that
Mm,
type of approach versus a class or, something like that, not that that doesn't have its place, just has like this newness, like this almost like a virgin uh, addition, frequencies, virgin frequencies in terms of our experience here, added to our field that we play in, like our field of potential.
mm, mm,
And the only way to, like you were saying earlier, whatever you want it to mean, it will mean.
mm,
So I don't know.
mm.
I've been involved in a few, and I've been pretty impressed with them.
But I feel like it doesn't even need meaning assigned.
True, true.
Um,
Mm.
Meaning is, yeah, like when you're in that space, when you're in that grid, you're not thinking about what things mean. You're just in the experience.
Yeah,
You're just connected in that unified field,
yeah.
in that the unity. Yeah,
It's like the
it's
yeah, it's like the visuals are just a way of showing, or what, some people, I was in one and the lady said, I don't see things, I feel things, and this is what I feel. Like
mm,
they're just like the way it's being shown or felt, which is actually a band of frequencies, a vibration, a resonance, or whatever you want to call it. The tuning fork aspect, right?
mm, mm.
Like it almost
Yeah,
it almost yeah. Go ahead.
and that's the beauty of it. It doesn't have to be any one way.
No.
Like, um, but it all does weave. It all does weave
Yeah.
through each other.
Yeah.
Back to that weaving that we
Yeah.
forgot, that cosmic weaving.
Discovery of witches.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you are weaving with each other and through each other and around each other, and yeah,
Consciously
it's phenomenal. It's
and
beautiful. Yeah,
openly. So it's
yeah.
almost like it like shows. Like you got hot
Mm,
at the beginning of the show. Things will happen to me, happen to the guests. So it's almost like we get there before we physically get there. And
mm,
so by the
mm,
time we get there, let's just say like in a scenario like we're talking about, each person comes to the group, they're open, they're looking to grow, they're looking to collaborate, but in a new way, not like codependent, uh, you know, but in the new way, which is
mm,
requiring
mm-hmm,
being open. It's
mm-hmm,
requiring for us to be open
mm-hmm.
to allow it to happen.
Yep, yep. Like Delia just said, conscious creators, architects.
Yeah.
And that's what we've seen in quite a few of the sessions, was that architect, the conscious creator architect.
Wow. We didn't go into shame too much. 133.33, right when you said that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
hmm,
do we need to? We
no,
touched on it. We
I
we
think it was
gave it a
great.
moment.
No, I think it was
Yeah,
great. And I think it kind
yeah.
of is characteristic of what's happening, even like what you talked about, like what you talked about. You went to a session, you had this incredible experience, you went to bed. Uh, you sound like you probably were feeling light. I mean, you sleep like a big heavy boulder. You wake up
Mm,
and you get a download, and it's over in 45 minutes, and you've got exactly what you planted. I mean, it comes out different. I think things come out different than we thought, and we've
mm,
got away from trying to frame things up and control it, and that's part of it too. Because just like that little girl you talk about, can't we just, as an adult, can't we just throw a tantrum, say what we want to say, scream and holler, hit the pillow, and just Be done with it. It's like
mm.
when you do that, that's actually allows the magic to come in. There's no
Yeah,
judgment. There's no, what we might call negative or adverse energy. It's just like, hey, this is part of
yeah,
us.
yeah. And if someone has a tantrum in front of me, I'm not going to attach to that. I know that's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here to hold space for you while you have your expression. You release it, you express it, you get it out, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's go to the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah. I think you
Yeah.
said it earlier too when you said like treat yourself like you treat other people. I saw another meme I shared today. It was love like you want to be loved. Give like you
Mm,
want to love like you want to be loved. Give like you want to be given to, and it went down.
mm.
The list.
That might have been the one I was referring to
Yeah.
before and had
Yeah.
absolutely no recollection of. Yeah.
Well, but you could add a lot of stuff into it, like hold space, like you would want someone to hold space for you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think like what's coming out with what you're saying too is something I'm seeing, which is like people having empathy to the degrees where they're making changes. We're making changes, um, and it's not giving our power away. It's saying I can adjust my tuning fork, and
Mm,
there'll
mm,
be a different, transmission or whatever from me.
mm,
People will pick up something different.
mm, mm.
Then again,
Yeah.
just like
Or not.
or
And
not.
and oh gosh, there it goes again. I'm not I'm not perfect. I am
Mm.
I am certainly not perfect. But I was trying to hold myself to perfect standards.
Mm-hmm.
I was treating myself very poorly when I failed or made mistakes or did things wrong.
Right.
And no one else was doing that. That was me.
Yeah.
It
We've
was
all.
me doing that.
Yeah. Don't feel bad.
So yeah,
Don't
yeah,
feel like the Lone
yeah,
Ranger. And then we would
yeah. I'm
go
over it.
into. Then we would go into. I'm going to do this, and be really
Yeah,
stringent about it because we beat ourselves up. So we're going to make it happen.
yeah.
And you get
Like,
out of my way. Here's my boundaries. Here's my boundaries. Don't fuck with me. And then you end up just setting yourself up,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because no matter what you do, it doesn't matter, right?
Oh, you've been there.
Shit, I've been there. It's still there. I mean,
Yeah,
it's at deeper levels. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah. I think
think.
we move past it a lot quicker, and
Yeah,
we
we
come
do.
to forgiveness and compassion within ourselves a lot
Well,
quicker too.
I think what's happening is because we're catching it, and everything's happening quicker, almost real time. We're actually developing, you could say like a greater self worth, but actually like an integrity.
Mm,
Like, because you get
mm,
the thought, oh, why did I say that? Like me with
mm,
sarcasm. Now I'm trying. I've been trying for years. Like I just draw the line. Period. Don't even do it. Don't even do it
mm,
with a friend, or with Morgan. Don't do it ever. Like when you say, hey, did you see so and so? And like it's like all or nothing. Like, but because we don't act and we pull the thought back and don't let it become verbal and an action oriented thing, I think
mm.
it starts to strengthen our integrity.
It does. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Sorry, I just had an image pop into my mind
What is it?
of a movie, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Was
Have
that
you
with
seen that?
Andrew Dice Clay?
Yes. Yeah.
I never saw it. Was
Yeah.
it good?
And when you said, well, I don't even remember what you said. It was something about wisecracks or
Oh,
something like
sarcasm.
that.
Sarcasm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sarcasm. Immediately, Andrew Dice Clay comes to mind. Um, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably the king of sarcasm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's pretty
Funny.
good.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Well,
right. Well, I guess, we've rambled on enough and
yeah, I enjoyed
stuff
it.
like that.
I really
Should
enjoyed
go.
it.
My cup is empty.
Yeah.
I'm out of tea. I'm going to have to go and make another one.
Okay. All right. I have no problem with it. Okay.
All right.
So thank you. I'll see you later.
Love
Take
you.
care.
See ya.
Love you too.